Happy New Year to everyone! Yes, you heard that right. We have two special banners happening right now, and it's the celebration banners. It was supposed to be a New Year banner, at least in the CN server, where basically they had the kernel celebration and the Vista celebration happening on 1st of January. But in the case of us in the global server, because we're always 6 months behind, then we're getting it on 1st of July. So for 2 weeks, we're going to get two special banners, and it is a really significant one. Although you have a whole bunch of people calling it the bait banner. So if I see into the comment section over here, there's basically people saying, oh, bait banner, or bait banner with a whole paragraph explaining why. Is it actually a bait banner? Is it something you should pull? I will explain that to you after I explain to you how the banner itself actually works. So we can see over here, this is the Vision Celebration. It's the one that contains a lot more of the newer operators. And then there's also the Kernel Celebration, which is the one that is for the older units. So the Year 1 units and the Year 2 units. Now, the way the banner works is as such. So there are operators that some of you might not own. In the case of myself, I own every 6-star, weird flags, God hand things. But for many of you, you probably have operators that are missing. Some of you might only have a few. You can check by clicking on the details. So it's the button on the bottom. You can see maybe you only have 2-3 operators missing, or you have a whole bunch of operators that you're missing. When you get a 6-star on this banner, the 6-star that you obtain is guaranteed to be one of the operators that you are missing. So if you, for instance, let's say you're missing Mudrock, Surtur, and Suzerain, as you see on this screen, you're definitely going to get one of them. The problem is you don't have a control of who that is going to be. All you know is that it's someone that you don't have in your account. So if you have a whole pool of people, basically there's a bigger randomness. But if you only have, let's say, 2 people or 1 person, then you know very well that you can easily get those people into your account. Now, when it comes to the pity, there is no pity carried forward from a previous banner that you've done. So if you've done some standard pulls, you pull for a certain event, like for instance, if you've been pulling for the Dagon Breaker event, then you tried to go into this, there is no PT carry forward. All the PT is fresh for just these 2 banners. Even if you accumulate some PT over here, they won't carry forward into another banner. So you're starting from 0, and that also means that your chance to get a 6-star is that normal 2%. So some of you might need the actual pity of doing 50-60 pulls to obtain the 6-star on this banner. Of course, the best feeling is you only do 10 or 20 pulls and you quickly get a 6-star that you do not own. But if you do need to go all the way, it does look like you're spending a lot of pulls in order to do so. Do also take note that the effect of getting a new 6-star only applies to the first 6-star that you obtain. So if you think to yourself like, oh, I want more new 6-stars, and like maybe you're missing Innes, Dagon Breaker, and Executor. So you did your pull, you tried to get Innes, so you got her, and you're still missing Dagon Breaker and Executor Altar. Don't pull the banner anymore, because the effect is gone. You can't obtain any more new person. And if you want to try to do so, you either have to pull on whatever banner you see, hope that you get off banner, or try again next year when this banner comes back on 1st of July. So, should you pull for this banner? Okay, there is a bit of a different effect for a new player, a mid-game player, and a late-game player. The reason why a lot of people call this a bait banner is simply because it's really close to our next limited banner. Our next dragon sibling, Yu, is going to arrive within the game, and a lot of people will tell you should be pulling for limited banners, right? If you lose on the limited banner, which is like you don't get the on-banner units, and you apparently obtain an off-banner, the good thing is you can maybe get the off-banner that you're missing. That would be wonderful, and a lot of people are also saving for that 300 pulls. But what I would say is that for some of you, if you're only missing a small pool of people, this banner is honestly going to be pretty worth. It depends on who you are actually missing. So let's say you are only missing about 2 to 4 people, and a majority of them are people that you feel can be very strong in your account, or you appreciate having them as your gameplay. Like for instance, if we just look at this one once again, you're missing Innes, Dagon Breaker, and Typhon. They're all people that we have always heard that are very, very strong within the game. You can take them to auto farm, you can take them into IS, that sort of thing, and you want to have them in your account as well. You want to stop borrowing them. If those are your only 3 people, why not just pull? Of course, you might do the 50 to 60 pulls, but at least you're obtaining someone that you know that you will enjoy a lot in the game. But if you're missing a whole ton of people, like you're missing 6, 10, 15 people, then at that point, I would rather that you just leave it to the off-banner chance that you might pull in a later banner. So if you're a new player, you're bound to be that 15, 20 people missing kind of person. In that case, just skip this banner. Do your pulls on the other future events that you see later on. If you're an older player, then only see if you have a smaller pool of people. I also want to put the attention onto the kernel banner, where this one contains the year 1 to year 2 operators. The thing about them is that you can't obtain them in standard banners anymore. So like for instance, right now as I'm filming this, the Dagon Breaker banner is still on, and you will see that it has the rate up for Dagon Breaker, and it only contains the newer 6 stars. All the older 6 stars can no longer be pulled on any future banner. You will have to either use the blue pools in order to pull for them, or you might have to spare some of your orundum and yellow tickets, which most people don't do that because it's a bit of a waste. You want to put that on the bigger, more important banners. So as a result, you getting someone from here is actually a lot harder. So with this kernel celebration, it gives you a chance to more easily complete your roster. The other ways for you to get someone from the kernel banner is by either doing recruitment, or if not, you can possibly be doing the store purchases. So what I mean is that with your certificates that you obtain, right now because we have the kernel celebration ongoing, there is only 2 operators being featured. But as you all know, usually there is always 2 6 stars and 2 5 stars. And for the 6 star, you need 180 yellow certs. For the 5 star, you need 45 yellow certs. So most of the time, if you want that sort of control of specifically who you want to get, people would just suggest to you to spend 180 certs to get that specific 6 star that you're missing. And in that case, you don't have to rely on this. Of course, that also means the trade-off of not buying pools. You're just spending your pools for a singular 6 star. But that depends really on your own accord. So if you're missing a whole ton of kernel banners still, then of course I would just say, yeah, get your operators from here or hope that they fall into recruitment. But if you have just a small few, then I leave that decision making to you. You know, do you want to just spend your certificates, or do you just want to quickly do the pools? I mean, if you do the pools, you're also stocking up on certificates, right? You're still getting green certs, you're technically getting blue certs if you do kernel pool, which isn't ideal, but you might end up being able to do more kernel pools in the future. So I'll leave it at that. Anyways, for those of you who's deciding to pull on this banner, let me know if you decided to pull, for what reason, and who do you get in the end. And otherwise, hopefully, you all will have a good time in this banner or the next one to come, which is of course the Yu banner. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.